Hi there. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to find the inequalities that describe an unshaded region R. So these type of questions are found in paper 1 of the GCE or internal exam. So how we go about these questions is as follows. The first thing we're supposed to do is identify the lines that act as a boundary to the region that we are given, the unshaded region. So look at this diagram that we have here. The first thing is we are going to pick a line. Let's pick this one here. You see that? This one is a very simple line. The inequality for this line is very simple. All we have to do is notice that the line is cutting the y-axis at 1, and the line is also parallel to the what? To the x-axis. So therefore, our inequality for this line, we first write the equation. The equation is we say y equals 1. Is that okay? So once we write that equation, now we have to change the equation into an inequality. How do we change the equation into an inequality? We just ask ourselves a question. Let's look at the R where it is here. Is it on top of the line or under the line? It's on top of the line, right? Now, if it's on top of the line, what type of numbers are on top of the line compared to 1? Are they bigger than 1 or less than 1? Clearly, you can see that the numbers on top of this line here are bigger than what? 1. And bigger means greater. You see that? So we are saying, therefore, our inequality is y is greater or equal to 1. Now, why am I using greater or equal to here? Because my line is solid. It's not dotted. If the line was dotted, would have just used the greater than. Is that okay? We proceed, we go to the next line. So this one is done. That's how you find the inequality for this line. The next one, let's pick this line here, shall we? Okay. So when you look at this line compared to the first line that we have done, you're going to notice that this line is slanting. It's cutting both the y and the x-axis. So if you're going to find the equation or inequality for this line, you must first find its gradient. Is that okay? So step 1, we find the gradient. How do we find the gradient? We have to pick 2 points on the line. So here we are given 4 points. There's this one here, this one here, this one here, and that one there. It's up to you to choose which points you want to use. As for me in this one, I'm going to use this point and that point there. Okay, so what we do is let me write down my points. The first one is 2, 4. So I'll come here, I'll write 2, 4. And the second one is 5, 1 there. So I'll write my 5, 1 there. Once I'm done with my points, the next thing is to name them. So I'll name them. The first one will be x1, y1. Then this will be x2, y2. After naming these points, I now must find the gradient of this line here. How do I find the gradient? It's simple. The formula for the gradient is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if I replace here, what I'm going to get is 1 minus 4 over 5 minus 2. So if you simplify this, this will be negative 3 on top over 3 down here on the denominator. 5 minus 2 is 3. So which means that the gradient, the gradient of this line is actually negative 1. So once I find the gradient, I'll go ahead and the gradient of this line here, which passes through this point and that point there. So this line here, the gradient is -1. So once we find the gradient, we go ahead and find the equation of the line. The formula for finding the equation of the line, as learned in coordinate geometry, is y minus y1 is equal to gradient x minus x1. See that? So in this formula, we're going to replace the information that we know. Our x1 and y1 are 2 and 4 there. So I'll come here. Don't replace the y. So you just write y there minus, what is our y1? It's a 4. So I'll come here and put 4 is equal to, what is our gradient? Our gradient is here. See that? So our gradient is -1, open bracket, I put x there, minus, what is our x1? We go back to our points here. Our x1 is 2. So where there's x1 here, I put what? 2. Is that okay? Now, once we are done with this part here, we go ahead and simplify our expression. So we'll have y equals, I'll move the 4. I'll have to move this 4, -4 to the other side of the equal sign. So y equals, I want y remains alone. -1 times x is -x. -1 times -2, that is +2. Then this -4, when it comes to the other side, it will also become +4 there. Okay, so it means that our equation is y equals -x plus 6. This is the equation of this line here. Okay, this is the equation of this line here. Now, since we know the equation, we can go ahead and find the inequality. So we can conclude and say, therefore, our inequality y, before I write anything there, I'll go back to my line there. Let's check where this line passes or cuts the y-axis. It cuts the y-axis there, right? So the region R, is it under this line here or on top of the line? So you can clearly see that this region is under the what? The line. Since the region is under the line, we know that all the numbers under 6 are less than what? 6, since this line is cutting on where y is 6. So all the numbers under 6 are less than what? 6. So our symbol here is simply less than or equal to, because our line is dotted and the numbers, the region R is under what? Is under 6. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our symbol there. So we have y is less or equal to -x plus 6. So that is the second inequality. So the steps are very simple. All you have to do is first pick 2 points. After picking 2 points, name them x1, y1, x2, y2. Find the gradient. After finding the gradient, use your gradient to find the equation of the line using this formula. Once you find the equation of the line using this formula, you can go ahead now and put your inequality symbol in the equation. Okay, we still have one more line to go. We still have one more line to deal with. So these lines are done. Let's just remove this one and remove this one here. So the only line remaining now is this line here. Okay, that's the only line remaining. So the first things first, since this line is not parallel to the x-axis and not parallel to the y-axis, it is slanting. It means the line has a what? A gradient. So we're going to pick 2 points on the line, just like we did with the other one. So we pick 2 points on the line. Let's say I pick the origin. Clearly you can see the line is passing through the origin, so we can put one of the points can be 0, comma 0. Then another point is this point here, 2 comma 4. So the line is passing through 0 comma 0 and 2 comma 4. So we pick 2 points on the line, 0 comma 0 and 2 comma 4. With these 2 points now, I can go ahead and name this one x1, y1, x2, y2 there. Okay, so meaning that our gradient using this formula here is y2 minus y1, which is 4 minus 0 over x2 minus x1, which is okay, x2 minus x1 is 2 minus 0. So there we have 2 minus 0. So if we carry on to simplify this, we'll see that our gradient is 4 over 2, which is just a 2. So once we find our gradient, the next step is to find the equation of the line. So we're going to say, using this formula here, we're going to say the equation of the line is y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1, close there. So we replace in this formula, where there's y, we let the y be, minus, where there's y1, I put 0, equals gradient, we found a 2 there, where there's x, I let the x be, where there's x1, I put x1, which is here, 0, so we have a minus 0 there. Okay, so we carry on and simplify this expression. Y minus 0, any number minus 0 or anything minus 0 is that thing itself. So y minus 0 is just a y is equal to 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 0 is what? A positive 0. So there's no need to write that. 2 times 0 is 0 there. So meaning that the equation of this line here, which has been highlighted, is actually y equals 2x. But now we have to share, we have to write the inequality there. We are not interested in the equation, we are interested in the inequality. So how do we find the inequality there? Okay, so we go where the line is cutting the y-axis at this point here at the origin. You see that? So the question is r under the line or is it on top of the line? From my arrows that I've put there, you can see that r is actually under the what? Under the line. And when the number is under the line, so this is where it crosses the axis, right? This is where it cuts the y-axis. So if it is under, then it is less. If it is under, then it is what? Less. But I want you to pay attention to the way this line has been drawn. The line is dotted. So meaning that when we put our symbol there, we won't have to put the equal sign. We just have to put the less than. So since the region we are looking for, the r, is under the line, then we can go ahead and say here, we can go ahead and say, therefore, y is under, which means it's less than 2x. Okay, so that's the inequality that is representing that line there. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the process that you have to go through to work and get the 5 marks that this question offers. So to find the inequalities, if the line is parallel to the x-axis or parallel to the y-axis, for such kind of lines, just pick the point where it's cutting the x-axis or the y-axis, equate with the axis it's cutting. For example, here it cuts at y equals 1, so you say y equals 1 there. Once you are done, put the inequality by picking the values of r. Look at your region. Where is your region? If it's on top of a y value, it's greater. If it's under a y value, then it is less. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found this video to be helpful. If you are watching this video on YouTube, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best in your preparations.